Hi guys, Archie Luxury for Pluta channel, doing some paid reviews. This is what I do best, is paid reviews. And I've got a request. This is a paid review. And don't forget, like, subscribe, tell your friends, look in the description for 10 ways to keep me full-time on YouTube. And this here is a request from Gary. Gary says to me, goes, "Evening Paul, evening Paul. Love what you do. Question, what do you think of the, Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Retrograde day and date?" Very interesting question there. Any good? Thinking about taking the dive. I found a good one for about $12,000 US, and he's asking my thoughts on this. And I gotta tell you, the best thing you can do, guys, is if you want to do a bit of a search on a watch, you want to see whether it's good value or not, is have a look on the best thing you can do is have a look on the Vacheron Constantin, look on Chrono24. And that gives you a bit of a price guide as to what they're going for. It's kind of the retail, secondhand retail. Okay, so you know it's not wholesale but it is a good price guide there, and it'll tell you whether the pricing's in the ballpark. And just having a look here, I've just got my my iPad on my lap here. iPhone on my lap, just having a look there. 12,000 US does seem to be quite cheap for the 47245. I just looking at the moment there, ignoring the Russians. I mean, do we really want to buy from a Russian seller? The cheapest I can see here from an American is 15,000. Oh, that's Aussie dollars. Sorry, I got the wrong currency. Jesus Christ, wrong currency. Well, that'll get you every time there, won't it? Yep. So actually, that's within yeah. That's suppose that's 12,000 US there. What do I think? What do I think indeed? Look, it's not a terrible model to get there. The Vacheron itself there, not a terrible model, but would I do it? Would I do it? Would I do it? What do I think? What do I think? What do I think?
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.
Hey, what do I think? That's a very good question. So, look, Vacheron itself, fantastic brand there. And the interesting thing about this model here is it's got the way the first, the second, the third, whatever number of the month it is, it's got a jump hour. So it goes to 31 and jumps back, jump hour. Interesting piece, very interesting piece, day and date. So you mentioned you can get one for 12 US. Well, I've done my Chrono24, and I've seen them a little bit cheaper than that. Gary hasn't told me which metal color. Is it, maybe he's going for white gold or rose. That could be a little bit more than the yellow usually. What do I think? Okay, let's have a talk about this. What do I think? Okay, so 12,000 US dollars there. That's a fair bit of money. It's certainly not the end of the world. I mean, you could buy a lot worse than a Vacheron Constantin Patrimony. That's definitely for sure. It's the Patrimony is Vacheron's classic dress watch model. So it is a, I always say to people, buy the icons, buy the classic watches. I quite like it. I do quite like it. The only thing is, it must be said, it's 36 mil. Smidgen small in this day and age. Okay, I know it's a dress watch. It's like Patek. You know, Patek tends to be a very conservative sort of company. Yeah, like my world time is a 37 mil. And I gotta tell you, if it was just a smidgen bigger, it'd be great. I quite like it. I quite like it indeed there. I think it is a very nice piece indeed. The problems that I can see with it is that, you know, Vacheron is a hard brand to resell. The overseas, they're proving to be quite, you know, they're starting to get quite a following there. The thing about the Vacheron is it's got to appeal to a certain buyer, and I gotta be completely honest with you and say 12,000 US dollars is a lot of money. Maybe it's worth putting a little bit more in and getting a Patek Philippe. That's the only thing there, because at the end of the day, if you want to stay with this piece long term, you know, I buy things that I need to occasionally resell them for whatever reasons. Circumstances in life can change, and you've got to get out of them and buy something else. And I mean, in all honesty, there, Patek is just a stronger brand. It's just a stronger. AP, I mean, admittedly, AP is just as, you know, anything that's not the Royal Oak is very difficult to shift as well. I don't think it's terrible. I just think you've got to go into it for the right reasons. So 35 mil across there. Yeah, that's okay. 35. Is it 35? What size is it? Sorry, just excuse me. 36 or 35? What is it? 36 mil. Sorry, 36. Yeah, that's okay. 36 is okay. 36 is okay. It is a classic dress watch in the Vacheron Constantin style there. What do I think? Well, I think Vacheron is a top shelf brand. There is no disputing that. They are top shelf. You can't get better than Vacheron. However, when it comes to moving it on down the track, it could really prove to be a harder piece to move than, say, a Rolex day-date. Because that is the classic day-date, isn't it? The classic day-date would be the president, the day-date president. Obviously, it's a different, you know, the day-date doesn't have that beautiful movement that the Vacheron does. So that's the only thing there. I think you've got to ask yourself, is this the perfect watch for me? That's what you've got to ask yourself. Forget anything else. You've got to say, is this a watch that I could keep until the grave? Because the reality is, the Vacherons, they're not terminal. They're a great watch. They're a great watch. I mean, that is a beautiful watch. It's very, very classic dress. Is it a watch you could keep forever for yourself? That's the only thing. See, if you had a Patek, you really could get out of it so much easier to get out if you wanted to buy something. Now, I'll give you a case in point. Let me give you a case in point. Many years ago, I bought my Patek Philippe annual calendar, the 5035, the yellow gold one. You remember. It was also a little bit small, 37 mil, but it was quite tall, so it kind of felt a little bit smaller. 19 mil with strap, so just, you know, just smidgen. But it was a beautiful piece. And I remember about 2 or 3 months after I bought the Patek, the same dealer had a Vacheron Constantin perpetual calendar. Perpetual. So annual calendar, you've got to adjust it once a year. Perpetual calendar, it's kind of the next grade up. I mean, a Patek perpetual is almost double the money. And it was cheaper than what I paid for the Patek. Okay, so this was a Vacheron perpetual calendar, 36mm, a little bit smaller. It's a little bit like the Patek's own. I had the 5035. There, the closest thing in a perpetual would be a 3940. It was also 36mm. And the Vacheron was, mind you, remarkably cheaper. And it's because Patek is such a strong brand there. So it, you know, you could say they're both horology. It's a bargain, but it's a very expensive watch to service. We're talking about the perpetual calendar, and it is never going to be as popular as a Patek. Okay, so I mean, that's not the end of the world. I mean, geez, that's not the end of the world, but you've got to be prepared to love this thing for yourself. You're not buying it because it's a bargain Patek. You're buying it because it's a beautiful piece of horology. You really like the Vacheron brand, and this is your dream piece. If it's sort of a stepping stone, you could really become unstuck because it's harder to resell. If something is harder to resell, you got to drop the price. Drop the price, you start losing money. So that is the only thing there I want to throw out there. So to answer your question, is this watch any good? This watch is amazing. It's a beautiful watch. It's classic Vacheron, conservative dress watch, day-date. What a great complication to have here. What a great, beautiful complication. And yeah, they are around there. I think for 11, if you go on Chrono24, they are, I can see them a bit cheaper, which means 12 probably isn't a bargain. I mean, you haven't given me more information. Are you telling me it's absolutely pristine? Are you telling me box papers? Give me a bit more info there, because how do I can't really just compare it. And I logged on before on my iPhone, and it was actually I had the wrong currency. So I thought, oh well, I had the wrong currency. So, but 12 US, it's not cheap. So I'd need to know more information. Is it a really good one? What's its unique selling point? Because there are other ones on Chrono24 at the moment. I think owning a Vacheron is a great piece. I mean, I had a vintage Vacheron 1960s, 6405, which is manual wind, ultra thin dress watch, 33mm. I loved it. I really did love it, and I never intended to sell it, but I got a good offer, made good money, and sold it. Now I look at it and think, oh, maybe I sold it cheap. You know, it's one of these things there. It was a great watch. It's lovely watch. Vacheron's a great brand. So you've got to really look at it and say, this is a watch I can keep for myself forever. If it's something that you want to use as a stepping stone to your grail, I'd probably say no, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Because not that there's anything wrong with it. Vacheron's a great brand. But to resell a Vacheron, you know, there are people who buy Patek, but when you're going to Vacheron, you're a real watch connoisseur who buys it. It's not just Joe Flunky, you know. This is a watch for people who know these brands, classy people, not just uneducated bums. Vacheron is Patek is sort of more famous. Charlie Sheen had those antiques with it, and you know that they are considered the king of watches. But the Vacheron itself, there, I think you gotta really say to yourself, it's something I love. It's a piece of horology. Great piece. I mean, let's face it. It's an automatic. It's an, I'm just double checking to make sure. I just want to see. Yep, that's right. It's a day, date, time. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. The jump hour date. Love it. Love it. It's very elegant. Doesn't have. Oh, does it have seconds? Does it have seconds? I don't think it has seconds either. Which is, it's an interesting thing. My world time doesn't have seconds either. I think myself, if you love it and you want a high-end wristwatch, go for it. Go for it. But if you're just using it as a stepping stone to your next piece, ooh, I don't know if I'd do that. If you're going to use it as a stepping stone, the Rolex Date 8 President would be the way to go, because you can always shift them. Even though it's 36 mil as well, it'll always go because Rolex is so strong. So I just want to say to you, would I buy it? Yes, yes, I would buy one, yes. I'd have a look around at the price, unless that is an exceptionally nice one, box papers, everything. I'd be having a look around Chrono24, because the dealers on Chrono24, they're selling them. That's wholesale. That's not wholesale, that's retail secondhand. So you could possibly squeeze it a bit. The watch market is very tough at the moment. Things are hard. Things aren't moving easily. There's very stagnant, particularly to non-Rolex, non-Patek type watches. It's hard. IWC, Jaeger-LeCoultre. There's some very you know, they're harder to shift. So it's a buyer's market. So you got to use that effectively. Would I buy it? What do I think? It's an amazing watch. Absolutely amazing. Would I buy it? Yes, I would. I think it's a fantastic watch. I don't think 12 US is a bargain. So try and negotiate a bit more. The key questions are, when was it last serviced, and who did it? Was it a Vacheron service or was it an independent? That's sort of key things you'd want to ask there. I think it could be the great watch to go for. It's certainly, you know, that's if it was a Patek with those features, automatic Patek with Date 8, man, you'd be paying big money. But yeah, I think it's a great watch. Just make sure you're buying it for the right reasons. That's all. I'm Paul Pluta. This is the Paul Pluta channel. Remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget, keep watching, keep supporting me on YouTube. Man cannot live on Google Ads alone. I need your support. Whether that's a paid review, whether that's some consultancy where I talk to you about watches, or whether you sponsor me on Patreon, help us out. Paul Pluta, signing out.